Good morning and welcome back, Racine Unified. I'm Chief of Schools Jody Bloyer, and I'm excited to bring this Institute Day to you live from this beautiful library of the Academies of Racine at Horlick High School. We had really hoped to be with you all, sharing smiles, reuniting from the summer break, and feeling that energy of another new school year. Unfortunately, we're not there just yet, but we will be welcoming our students back in person, and I think that's the real celebration of this school year. Speaking of our students, I'm joined this morning by some of them whom you'll be hearing from in a few moments. I'm also honored to be here with our superintendent, Dr. Gallian, who is just as excited as I am to welcome you back. Good morning, Dr. Gallian.
Good morning, and good morning, RUSD. Welcome back to a new school year. I'm so excited that we're here to kick off a new year. But before we get started, I want to introduce to you our friend, Mr. Victor Frazier. Many of you may know Victor from around the district, because as you know, educators have been a great sponsor to this event every year, and they continue to be a great partner throughout other opportunities in the district. So welcome, Mr. Victor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gallian. As I said, my name is Victor Frazier, Director of Community Engagement for Educators Credit Union. Educators Credit Union has been a long partner of Racine Unified School District. Over the past year and a half, although the world of education has changed drastically, we want to let you know that we are still by your side here helping provide financial literacy in your classrooms in a virtual way. Last year, we moved many of our financial literacy experiences to an online platform and are still providing these virtual experiences for the 21-22 school year. Outside the classroom, we've created Educators Credit Union Video Banking, where you can connect to member service and representative right from your phone or your mobile device. We can only imagine how stressful the new reality has been on families, teachers, administrators, and school staff. Educators is always here to help you with your financial needs, both inside and outside of the classroom. We look forward to our continued partnership. Tough times don't last. Tough teams do. Welcome back, RUSD.
Thank you, Victor. Now, that was wonderful. So I want to say this morning, in addition to Mr. Frazier joining us, we have 5 other friends who will be joining me. I want to introduce those friends. We're going to start off with Miss Arias, who's going to tell us what school she attends and what grade she's in.
I'm in 3rd grade and bilingual in Julian Thomas.
Next, we'll have Miss Daphne. Miss Daphne is going to tell us what school she attends and what grade she'll be in.
Where are you going to go to school? Where are you starting this year?
So Miss Daphne is going to be joining us. She's going to be attending our Montessori program. She's going to be a new student in our 4K. So welcome, Miss Daphne. Now this gentleman, I'm sure many of you may look familiar to you. He is a lot taller these days, but he was my co-host of this event several years ago, Mr. Jameson. Mr. Jameson, tell us what school you'll be attending and what grade you'll be in.
I'm in Montessori and I'm going in 4th grade this year.
Great. Next, we'll have Mr. Isaiah.
I'm in 7th grade and I'm going to real school.
Great. And last but not least, Mr. Azan. Mr. Azan has been a close friend to the superintendent's office for the last 8 or 9 years, and he has been active member of our student advisory council to the superintendent. And I just want to welcome Mr. Azan. Tell us what school you attend and what grade you'll be in this year.
Yeah, I'm an IB student in the engineering pathway at the Academies of Racine at Case High School, and I'm going to be a senior. Great.
Thank you guys for being here with me this morning. And I just wanted to say I am so proud to serve you, as well as I am proud to serve the other 17,000 students in this district. Now, for our educators this morning, I just want to start off by saying I know that this last year has been tough. It has been a strange year, to say the least. But I want to thank all of you for digging in deep and doing whatever it took to make sure our students succeed and transition successfully through this pandemic. But now it's time to move forward. Now we can have an opportunity to move forward together. And so that's going to be our theme for this year, forward together. Now we'll still have challenges, we'll still have obstacles before us, but together we can accomplish many things, and we will accomplish many things. So we are all on one team, we all have one goal, and that's to make sure all of our students succeed.
Thank you. I agree. Forward together. As we move on, Dr. Gallian, I don't know if you've noticed, but you are or have chosen to sit in the hot seat. And in that hot seat, we've decided that myself and our students are going to ask you a few questions. I'm going to start, and they're going to go after, okay? So my first question kind of centers around some things that you and I have talked about: the strategic plan, the pandemic recovery, and of course the long-range facilities master plan. So I want to start out with that new strategic plan. And what can we expect when Raising Racine 2022 does come to an end?
Right. So as many of you may know, and for those who don't, we've been working off a 5-year strategic plan that comes to an end called Raising Racine 2022. That comes to an end in June. However, we have an opportunity now to start a new focus, moving forward together. So with that theme, we want to start with one particular initiative with our strategic plan. So throughout the year, we're going to be asking stakeholders to engage in the process and share their voice. So you'll get more information to come on when those opportunities will be. So thank you in advance for taking advantage of it.
Yes, and we encourage people to definitely make sure they're sharing their voice and their opportunity for input. You bet. So then the second one, that pandemic. Let's turn to the pandemic recovery. What's our focus here?
So the pandemic has really hit us on a number of fronts. But one of the things that is top of mind for many of our educators is the socio-emotional impact of this. And so not only do we want our staff to be prepared and be well stated to really address their own socio-emotional, but we want them to have the tools to be able to engage our students in their socio-emotional learning. So the first area we're going to focus on is re-engaging students. How do we do that? What do we do creatively to re-engage students? How are we going to continue to build on those relationships that we've established before the pandemic, and we'll continue to build on throughout the school year? And then last but not least, we want to make sure that we provide the level of support needed for students and their families. And then that sets us up for our next area of focus in this recovery effort is to address the academic needs. And so that comes in a couple of forms, and one of them is for us to make sure that we address the learning loss. And that learning loss could come from remedial side, and they come from the accelerated side. So there's some students who have missed opportunities, and there's some students who just didn't get what they were supposed to get initially. So we want to provide more remedial and accelerated opportunities for all students. We want to, through that, create more opportunities for teaching and learning to occur. And then we want to make sure we focus on some key areas. So early literacy, STEM, education and opportunities, and then always focusing on career readiness. And then the last area related to this is that we want to make sure that we have positive and safe learning environments. So we want to continue to engage with our local health departments, exchanging information, and then pushing that information out to our community, our students, our staff, and our families to make sure that we keep them informed of what's going on in the community. And so with that, we want to acknowledge the fact that we've established a partnership with the REU around school safety. And so one of the things that the REU has worked with us on over the last year or so is to establish these school safety representations at each campus. And those individuals will work with us throughout the year to look and address school safety concerns. And then the area that we never want to lose focus of in this pandemic situation is to make sure we always remember we have PPE protocols that we need to continue to follow. We want to acknowledge the fact that we've upgraded many of our air filtration systems. We've installed bottle fillers and hand sanitizers throughout each campus. And we want to do all of those things and remember all those protocols so that we do what's best to keep the students safe, the staff safe, and then we can stay in school.
Yeah, and all of that really does help us move forward together, and we're definitely stronger when we can do that work together. So yeah, appreciate all that hard work that goes into that, and we'll continue to go into that. Finally then, my third question centers around that long-range facilities master plan, and what's next for that, Dr. Gallion?
So the facilities long-range master plan is, we've been developing it for a couple years. And so with that, many of you may recall last spring we passed an historical referendum. And even though that's being tied up in the legal courts, I am confident that we'll be able to continue to move forward. And so with that said, as we go through the phase 1 projects, we're going to move forward together. And we want to acknowledge the fact that we have some things that are coming online soon. One of the projects that, not necessarily referendum related, but it's a project that we can be proud of as a district, is our new Aquatic Center. Our Aquatic Center is going to be ready for students and staff and the community this fall. And so we're looking forward to that, and it's going to benefit everyone in this community. And the most important thing about the Aquatic Center is I want to acknowledge the fact that our Academies of Racine youth apprentices have helped build that facility. So kudos to those people.
Yeah, that is really great news. Thank you, Doc. And I have a feeling that someone that's joined us today really is excited about the Aquatic Center too. So as we go into that, and we are speaking of the Aquatic Center, let's shift now to hear from our students and the questions that they have.
Absolutely.
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
And what a better place to start than with Azan. Azan, do you have a couple questions for Dr. Gallion?
Yeah, so I am really looking forward to the Aquatic Center. I can't wait to start diving in it. So when do you think it's going to be completed?
So for many of you, you may not know that Azan is one of our premier divers in the district. He's medaled a few times at the state level, so I'm sure he's super excited about this Aquatic Center. But we have some wonderful other swimmers as well. So just want to acknowledge those swimmers and really say thank you for being patient while we're doing this Aquatic Center. But to answer your question, I would say that just be ready. We're going to be in the fall of this year, and shortly thereafter, the staff will begin to work on scheduling process for when students will be able to engage, when the community will be engaged.
Okay, and then my second question was, with last year being so heavily technology-based, and this year we're going back in person, how is technology going to be implemented in the classroom?
Wow, great question. So the pandemic has afforded us a few challenges and a few opportunities. And one of those challenges is that we had to really address this idea that many of our students didn't have access to the internet and didn't have access to devices. But I'm proud to say that now we are a one-to-one school district where every one of our students have access to a device and have available technology at their fingertips. And so what that does for us is it allows us opportunities to do teaching and learning a different way. It allows our teachers to be as innovative as they want to be, and I'm sure that our students will benefit from that and they will be engaged in the process.
Great, thanks for the questions, Azan. Dr. Gallion, our next student is Isaiah. Isaiah, do you have a question for Dr. Gallion?
Yes. What was your first job, and did you always want to be the administrator?
Great question, Isaiah. So I would say this, my first job, my first official job in life as an adult was when I became a United States Marine. So I joined the Marine Corps immediately after high school. So that would be my first official job. And in that job, I learned some skills that would eventually help me to be a leader in whatever I wanted to do. And so one of the things that the Marine Corps taught me is self-discipline. It taught me to be a leader amongst my peers and what that leadership should look like. There are characteristics that come along with that. And so for the amount of time that I was in the Marine Corps, I was able to enhance and practice those leadership skills. Now, how did I get into the journey of being a superintendent? I started off as a volunteer in our local high schools in Milwaukee. And from there, I began to transition. And so I became an educational assistant. I did that for a number of years. And then I became a substitute teacher, which led to me being a teacher. And eventually I became an administrator where I was a principal, assistant principal at high school, elementary, and middle school. And so that led to me being a district level leader where I was supervising other principals and working with them to help create positive learning environments in their schools. And ultimately I landed in this seat. And I didn't know I was going to be here, but I'm here. And so I think all of those experiences helped me to be the superintendent I am today. Thank you, Isaiah.
Yeah, and we are glad that you landed there. It's a hot seat right now, but we're glad you landed in it. Jameson, you're next, and I heard you have a couple questions for Dr. Gallion.
So, my first question is, do we have to wear masks at recess?
Good question, Jameson. So I would say that we do not have to wear masks when we're outside of the building, but we do have to wear masks when we enter the building, and that includes when we're on the bus. So when you're out for recess, no mask. When you're out for gym and those types of outdoor activities, no mask. So those will be the opportunities that students will be able to take mask breaks.
Okay, and so I also had a follow-up on that question. Do we have to wear masks during drop-off?
Oh, when you come to school, when you're entering, before you enter the building, you do not have to wear the mask. Once you enter, once you start to open that door and walk in, you should have your mask on.
Okay, and so then my second question is, why isn't virtual optional?
So virtual is an option for the district. While our teachers who are here today, most of them will be teaching face-to-face and engaging with students in that way, the more traditional way. However, we do have a great virtual learning environment and a whole different school experience for students who want to experience that route. So that is an option for this community.
Okay.
Thank you, Jameson. Good questions. It's your turn, Miss Daphne. Do you have a question for Dr. Gallion? I had heard that you were wondering if you get to color at school when you go to your 4K classroom.
Is that true? All right, Daphne. So great question. And that's an appropriate question for a student that's just entering school. And so I want to share with you that we have some wonderful art teachers throughout our district who I'm sure, as built into their curriculum, there'll be opportunities to not only color, but to create art. And so I'm sure through that venue you'll have an opportunity to color. And as I know the elementary teachers in our school district have opportunities within their own curriculums to make sure students may want to color in a map or color in this object. So you will have many opportunities to color.
All right, thank you for that. And last but not least, Miss Arias.
Do you have a TikTok account?
Do I have a TikTok account? Now, TikTok is new for old people like myself, but I'm trying to establish a TikTok account. And so I've been working on this video all summer, and I want to show you guys the video. And Arias, you tell me how I did and if I'm ready for TikTok world.
Baby, let's move. What? Can you teach me how to Dougie? You know why? Cause everybody love me. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin'. And for you to back it up and Dougie.
Arias, what do you think?
It's okay.
It's okay? I got some work to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Just a little more practice, right?
Got it.
Teach you how to do.
You can teach me? Well, that's even better. Thank you.
You can teach
Thank
him how
you.
to Dougie?
Thank you.
That's even better. I love it. Well, thank you, Dr. Gallian, for having some fun with that and for entertaining the questions that we had for you today. I think now, we've had some questions for you, but now I'd also like to hear from our students and hear what their hopes are or what they're most excited for this school year. So if you guys can think about some things, let's start talking with them about what they're excited for. And Adam Arias, why don't we start with you? What are your hopes or what are you most excited for in coming back to school?
My hope is that the virus can go away so I can see my friends and I can meet new friends. And my dreams are I can grow up and be a chef because I always wanted to be a chef when I was a baby.
Wow. So friends are a big part of school, and I hear that about that chef part. So making sure that we get you around some cooking and baking and being that chef that you dream to be. So thank you,
You
Adam
can make
Arias.
me some cookies? All right.
And teach them how to Dougie. Miss Daphne, what are you excited about becoming a 4K student? Are you excited about meeting new friends?
I'm excited to see my friends.
Excellent.
All
I
right.
think you're going to have a great time meeting new friends. Thank you, Miss Daphne. Jameson, what are you excited about coming back to school this year?
I'm excited for lots of stuff. I'm excited to meet some new friends, say hi to some old friends, and get back to the old school life.
The old school life. You got an old soul over there, Jameson. I like that. New friends and old friends alike. Isaiah, how about you? What are you excited about?
I'm excited to go back into the building after like 2 years.
And to what?
After like 2 years.
Yes, just to go back into your building after a couple of years. I'm excited about that too. And Azan, what are you excited about, Azan?
Well, no surprise here, but I really cannot wait to have a full diving season in the brand new facility.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I actually had a question for Dr. Gallian, if that's okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Go
So what are you most looking forward to?
Wow, good question. Talking about being on the hot seat. So I would say this. For me, the number one thing that has me excited these days is having all of our students return and really just having them face-to-face and on the campuses and being able to see them excited and being able to engage with their friends. I'm really excited about that and looking forward to the opportunity for our staff. Our staff is going to be elated, being able to interact with their students who have been for many of them, it's like an extended family. So I really want to say I'm excited to see our staff. I'm excited to move around the campuses and re-engage with some of them, see them. It's been a couple years since we've been able to really engage with one another. So I'm looking forward to that. And then one of the biggest things I look forward to is engaging with all of the different events that happens throughout our district. We have a very unique district, so we have a lot going on, performances everywhere. So I'm looking forward to when we can have those start back again. Our games that we can have going, we hopefully have spectators there. And of course, Azan, I'm going to come see you dive.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So I want to say this morning that I just want to thank everyone for all you have done this summer and the previous year to really work with our students and get prepared. And I want to wish you a memorable school year and a successful school year. And together, we will move forward and do what's best for our students, which is to help every student succeed. Thank you this morning. Have a great day.
Let's do this.